So they come into the team with this complete lack of fear. They play their off. They give everything for the badge. This is all they've ever wanted to do. There's no like, I'm saving myself for the World Cup. I'm bored with my contract. No, they're not even thinking about anything like that. They play their heart out. And I think it buys you time. Atmosphere's a bit iffy in the stadium, agree?
Yeah.
Right. You throw Shea Lacey on, is it... What happens?
It's certainly everyone's on their feet cheering.
Come on, son. Yeah. He goes past one of them West Ham defenders. He nutmegs Aaron Wan-Bissaka. He puts a cross and it's over the bar.
Screaming.
Lads on the feet. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Is it a different atmosphere?
Manchester United 1, West Ham 1. I'm joined by Stephen Howson. Steve, you got your double thumbs up there. Another poor result for Man United at home. Just give me your general feeling today.
Malaise.
Which, obviously, and I don't even want to put everything down to the manager, but we have to talk about the manager. We're sort of we're 13, 14 months into Amorim's tenure. We're one big summer transfer window into it. The fact that it is this sort of malaise, a kind of everything just feels stodgy and like things aren't moving forward. How worrying is that for you, compared to where we should be potentially?
I don't know if worrying is the word I would use. It's frustrating though.
Yeah.
It's frustrating because I don't think we're seeing momentum and progress as fast as we would like to see progress and momentum. And the hardest part about it is, can we find some new mistakes? I mean, can we not just make the same mistakes? It's the same team doing the same shit every single week. And I know we've got a thin squad, but we're not utilising any risky academy debuts. And when I think back to what we saw under Louis van Gaal, and Louis van Gaal's in my head because that's what last night felt like. Yeah. It felt like we would get into the final third with the ball and then we would pass it around.
Yeah.
And no one wanted to run ahead of the ball. No one wanted to play on 1 and 2 touch. No one wanted to drive into the box. You think there's a packed box there and you can, like Cunha, Ahmad and Bumo, run at someone. Make them foul you. Because with VAR now, they generally do get the right decision if they decide to look at it. And no one was doing that. So, and you think about Louis van Gaal, and then you think, Louis van Gaal played the most academy players I've ever seen anyone play. And he was bad. And we came 5th and won a cup.
Yeah, we'd take that now, wouldn't we?
And where did he come in his first season? Was it 4th?
I think, it was top 4 for sure, yeah.
And you think, he was putting teams out that had a back 3, because he did that for a little bit, didn't he, if you remember, that had Chris Smalling in, who looked like he was dislocating his hip trying to pass a ball, Tyler Blackett, Donald Love, Paddy McNair, Cameron Borthwick-Jackson, Joe Riley.
I want to touch on the academy stuff in a minute with Kobbie Mainoo in particular, but just in terms of the chances or the lack of chances, it feels like teams have worked out that if you sort of sit back against us, get in your shape, defend your box well, at most we might get 1 goal, we might sort of scuff a goal in, and then that means that the game is open and ready for 1 or 2 chances. United this season, I'm just looking over the last 5 games, on average, across the Premier League, teams score with 25 to 30% of their shots on target. That's the average kind of metric. In the last 5 games, United have conceded 7 goals from 15 shots on target, almost 50%. Why is it so easy for teams who maybe they defend well for 50 minutes, get a bit lucky, when they try and attack us, they score more often against us than pretty much any team in the league in terms of shots on target to goals?
It feels like we give up big chances more than like United take a lot of shots. I mean, we had 17 shots last night. We take a lot of shots that are bad decisions, and I think that there's some valid criticism of Bruno in shooting, in just shooting. Yeah. At all times, spamming shots. We create chances, but you're right, we don't score anywhere near enough from those chances, and some of that is because we're shooting from range, which is a low XG chance. It feels when we give up a chance, we give up a really good chance. We're not making opposition players better, but we do concede, and I don't understand, to be honest, how we concede the chances we concede, because when I look at Lemons, I go, I think he's a good keeper.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit here and tell you he's world class or that he's the best in the league, but I think he's competent. And I think he's an upgrade on... Fucking hell, he's an upgrade on Onana, and he's an absolute upgrade on Bayern. But we still concede. Now, he's not having the clanger mistakes where he's giving chances.
No.
But obviously, we're still conceding shots and we're still conceding goals. And that has to be systematic. Part of me thinks like the midfield doesn't get back at the right times often enough. But I'm not entirely sure that is the case. It feels like, we don't treat the red zone properly at the time, in and around our box after stuff. We want to maybe be a bit cuter with it rather than just fucking getting rid. You look at how opposition defend against us at times. Just smashing it. Get rid. We don't do that. You don't really see us doing that at all.
No.
I'm still frustrated at why this is a thing in the Premier League. I think it makes it easier for the attacking team, massively so, when the whole 11 is in the box.
From an opposition set piece?
From every corner, yeah. I mean, last night, both teams did it. Mad frustrating. Like, there's 20 people in this box.
Yeah.
It's fucking stupid. Go and put 3 on the halfway line. That will take 7 people out of the box.
Yeah.
That gives your keeper the chance to get it. And if you've got a keeper with big, long arms like ours is, that can claim it, he'll catch near enough every single one.
Yeah.
And then you'll have to start seeing people looking for near post flick-ons to try and change the angles a bit. But if you're just putting one into the general vicinity of the 6-yard box, that's the keeper's bread and butter. But when there's 20 people in there, it's harder for him.
Looking at across the team, I think trying to find players who had a really good game against West Ham is difficult. I don't think there's anyone who had a really good game. I personally thought that Bruno and Casemiro had decent games. Casemiro in particular for doing the role he was asked of him. I thought Bruno was one of the only few in the first 15 minutes when West Ham were probably the better team. I thought Bruno was making runs off the ball, trying to actually create things with a bit of energy when that front line looked a little bit stagnant. I thought I give him some credit for that. But outside of those, and maybe not even including those, I don't know your opinion on it, why is it that so few players seem to have good games for us at the moment? Why do you think that you go, he wasn't very good, he wasn't very good, he wasn't very good? They seem to have all fallen into that kind of problematic, we play for Man United and things aren't going well kind of form, don't they? Why does that happen?
And it's one of the reasons why you want academy players to come in, because they always seem immune to that sort of vibe, don't they? I tend to agree. I think Casemiro I would agree. Bruno I wouldn't, because I thought his decision making at times was horrendous.
Yeah, I agree with that. There were some lapses there.
There was opportunities to play. I think one of my issues with the midfield is it's not moving the ball through the thirds anywhere near quick enough. There's an extra touch, which is all you need sometimes for everyone to get set and defend. It's just a little bit too slow. You don't see us go pop, 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 and with largely playing it forward. We either smash it forward in the air and bypass the midfield, or we build up slowly through the thirds, find ourselves on the edge of force the opposition back into their box with that sort of suffocating kind of side to side possession. But then our crossing is so fucking crap. There was a few actually from the right hand side which weren't bad, and I thought Mazraoui, even Bruno when he came over to that side, and Bumo and Ahmad were putting decent balls in. But who are you crossing them to?
But is that then an issue that needs addressing? Obviously, Joshua Zirkzee, for me, didn't have a particularly good game again. I know there was a couple of nice touches in there, but when you're putting the ball into someone who's 6'3", you would think that would be, obviously you're not going to be 50% because your header has to be on target, beat the keeper, the defender just has to get it out. But would you have expected a little bit more from him in terms of finishing and getting in there and winning headers and stuff?
Yeah, but at the same time, I still don't think you're necessarily using what we put out last night in the right order. Okay. Let's have Joshua Zirkzee come and play in between the lines where he clearly wants to be. You saw a few times when he was chasing the ball, and how far off it did he look? Trying to he was going absolute max chat, and someone's jogging alongside him, looking around. Yeah. There was the similar issue that we saw against Everton, and I thought, we're not doing the same thing today. Do you know that one where we had 3 shots in the space of 2 seconds? Yeah. It came from a cutback. So why do we do that once and then try and cross it 5 times?
I don't know. I think the runs in behind. Back to your point before, I want to talk about the manager as well. If anyone's watching this thinking, why aren't they talking about the manager? And we're going to. Your point before, where we were talking about building up and why that we're not winning penalties, we're not running into the box. We won a load of penalties at the start of the season from runs, oftentimes, like you were talking about, third man runs into the box, playing those runs, driving at people inside the penalty area. First sort of 5 or 6 weeks of the season, I think we had 4 or 5 penalties. I don't think we've had one in, well, a long time at least, pushing a couple of months. Why do you think that slowed down? Because I do think we were making more runs, more cutbacks, more kind of, it seemed a bit more clear what the strategy was. If the wingers get the ball, the number 10s make a run in between the defender, the centre-back and the full-back. You play it to them, they cut it back. We're having success with that. Where's that gone? Why do you think that is?
Joshua's it. I think Sesko not playing.
Yeah.
There's a big part of that, yeah. I think Mbumo's fell off a cliff since he's not got Sesko.
Yeah.
Because nobody's making runs. How do you create space? Make a fucking run.
Yeah.
And it's not always a run to get the ball. People really misinterpret that. Like, you know, it's not about running to get a ball. I'll make a run because I'll move someone out of the way so Joe gets the ball. And then as I continue my run, I go, fucking Joe. And you can put one in front of me, and before you know it, I'm in behind the defence because I've got momentum going against what is usually a static line because they're trying to hold an offside line. So if I can make a run and he spots it in time, he can put it in behind a stood still line, and my momentum takes me in behind them. I'm onside, they've not reacted, we've played on 1 and 2 touch, and we've taken a static situation into a dynamic goal scoring opportunity. And that's what we're not fucking doing at the moment. And guess who did that? Sesko.
Yeah.
And while people are talking about he's not scoring loads of goals, but he's cutting about the gaff, making space for others. And he would run to and from, double movements, go short to come long. Like, he would do all sorts of things like that. And right now you've got 3 forwards that want the ball to feet. Yeah.
And then the opposite is the case where they're the ones with the momentum and you're the one waiting for the ball to arrive. So they often will push. We saw that so many times with Xerxes yesterday, where he's stood there waiting for the ball to roll and the defender just smashes through him and gets the ball. Let's talk about the manager, and then we'll talk about Mainu and the subs afterwards. The pressure is mounted on Amorim in it, and I hate that. Part of me doesn't like that when you win one, isn't he great? When you lose one, isn't he shit? But that's kind of the game as a Man United manager, especially when across a 12-month period, it's more bad than good, and quite a lot more bad than good. There was boos at the end of the game yesterday, a lot of sort of discontent at some of the subs, lack of Kobbie Mainoo, lack of maybe changing the formation a little bit as well from some fans. How do you think he's handling this? Because that post-match press conference looked like a man that was angry and a little bit sort of maybe embarrassed. When you started giving it the old, well, what would you have done type stuff, that's usually a bit of a bad sign for me. How do you think Amorim is handling all this, and what role does he have in fixing it? Because obviously it's a pretty big one. Like, what can he be doing here, and how problematic is this, do you think, for him?
I think it's more problematic that you're about to lose Mazraoui and Mbumo and Ahmad.
Yeah.
Because like I always say, it's your recruitment that matters. And when you just have unavailable players, you're in the shit.
Yeah.
Like, and we've lost Sesko. And Cunha got knocked out and he played like he was fucking still knocked out last night.
You could tell he'd not played for about 6 weeks, couldn't you?
So you get, Sesko, is he even back before they go?
Yes, he should be. There should be an overlap on that game. I think it's sort of 2 weeks he should be back and they go in 3 weeks. So it's the nearest
would be
of
sound
diagrams.
Then,
Diagrams.
So we've seen what we're like when we lose Sesko.
Yeah.
Now maybe you could, weirdly, you might be able to survive losing one of the others if you've got Sesko because he runs different to the others. Maybe, but I'm really worried because we're not integrating any other. It's not like there's other wingers in the club.
No,
they're all on loan, right? All of the other wingers in the club are children.
Yeah.
But some of them are pretty good, and some of them have got very high ceilings and big prospects. At what point do you find out if they've got something in them?
I mean, I guess if I'm looking at what's happened and trying to explain it, I'm not saying this is what I do. Amorim may say all of these game states have been so in the balance, and part of that is maybe his tactics, the fact that we're not 2-3 goals up like we should be against West Ham. But bringing on Shea Lacey when you're 1-0 up, if you then go and lose or draw like we did, you could call that naive. You could be accused of, well, why yes, take a chance, but don't take it when we might drop points to one of the worst teams in the league. everything is based on the result, isn't it? So if you don't win, everything you did was terrible. And if you win, it was all a culmination of your brilliance as a manager.
But you as a manager can't think like that. You as a manager have to think about... So Sir Alex used to have that thing where he would be like, I'm going to rest you for this game because you're going to play in that game.
Yeah.
And the players used to be like, have I just been dropped or have I been told I'm actually really vital for those 2 games?
Yeah.
Sir Alex was always planning 3, 4, 5 games into the future.
Yeah.
If you only look at today's game, you can't do that. And the phrase is, you got to take it one game at a time. But you can't. You absolutely can't. Because you need to know what happens when AFCON comes. You can't just think, I'll deal with that when we get to it. No, you fucking can't deal with that when we get to it because you've got nobody that you can bring in.
Yeah.
There's literally no... Like, can you even think of what an 11 looks like when they go?
I mean, I guess you would... The back 3, if everyone's fit, you could have the back 3 centre-backs without Mazraoui in there. It's going to have to be Dalot one side, Dorga the other side, and then it's going to have to be Cunha, Mount, Sesko, innit? And that's hoping everyone stays fit and is available, because Mount and Sesko have been in and out all season. Cunha's had a few games missed as well. I think, if everyone's fit, you've got that.
In there, but yeah.
But just on that then, so in terms of trying new players in preparation for the AFCON, Xerxes is a player that wasn't playing, that has had a decent number of minutes over the last couple of games. It's not AFCON preparation necessarily, but Sesko's out, so let's bring him in, and that helps us maybe in the AFCON sort of few weeks. That hasn't been a success, has it? And obviously Lacey will get a bit more leeway. We love academy players. You want them to do well. You overlook some of the bad stuff and focus on the good things in a way you probably don't with, Joshua Xerxes 18 months into his United career. But I don't know. It is a risk, isn't it? You're not necessarily going to get better when Lacey comes on for.
Name me every bad academy debut we've had.
Well, I don't know.
They don't happen.
Yeah.
Now, that could be correlation versus causation, that they've got their debut because they've been fantastic in training and really knocking at the door. So they only got the debut because of that. That could be a reality. Yeah. However, even when we've seen like managers just lose their mind like Astana and go, fuck it, everyone's getting a debut.
Yeah.
Or Crystal Palace under Jose where they're like, who wants a debut? Yeah. Like, and Demi Mitchell got a debut, Angel Gomez got a debut, and like loads of players got a debut on the same day. Josh Harrop gets a debut and scores. If I said, start listing academy players who've scored on a debut, the list is fucking long.
Yeah, you see it.
Like, it's outrageous how long it is. And a lot of them players are not good enough for Manchester United. They go and they break onto the scene and they look mega like Makeda and they end up playing in fucking Greece. Though they come through like James Wilson and they end up playing for Salford. So many of them are not good enough to play for Manchester United long term. But they'll get you through that little spell. Go back to that thing we were saying about Lou Van Gaal.
Yeah.
Where the fuck did all of them end up?
I mean, Fosu Mensah, where was it?
Injuries did him. He was at Frankfurt not long ago, Leverkusen.
Yeah. Decent kind of, but yeah.
But incredible. Like, legitimately, oh my fucking God, incredible. Yeah. So they come into the team with this complete lack of fear. They play their bollocks off. They give everything for the badge. This is all they've ever wanted to do. There's no fucking like, I'm saving myself for the World Cup. I'm bored with my contract. No, they're not even thinking about anything like that. They play their heart out. And I think it buys you time. Atmosphere's a bit iffy in the stadium, agree?
Yeah.
Right. You throw Shea Lacey on, is it... What happens?
It's certainly everyone's on their feet cheering.
Come on, son. Yeah. Fucking come on, son. Yeah. He goes past one of them West Ham defenders. He nutmegs Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Yeah. He puts a cross and it's over the bar.
Screaming.
Fucking lads on the feet. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Is it a different atmosphere?
100%.
Right. Now, instead of doing that, you bring on another defender because he's got no problems changing defenders in and out, has he?
No.
So you bring on a defender, you bring on Ugarte and everything sinks back 10 yards. West Ham get a shot. What does the mood do then?
Yeah, the opposite.
He conducts the fucking crowd with what he does.
Yeah.
And Fergie, I go back to Fergie, but he's the benchmark that everyone gets measured by. So if you don't like us mentioning Fergie, go watch another fucking club because you're always going to listen to things talked about with Fergie. He says it all the time. He always used to wait to see what an opposition did. And if they took off an attacker to put on a defender, i.e. Bayern Munich, he goes, nice one.
Yeah.
And I'll put another forward on because I can be a bit riskier now because you took that off.
Yeah.
If you put a forward on, you can make the opposition defend more. Like, yeah, maybe West Ham go, fuck it, we go a little bit more gung-ho if we put a forward on. But we're better going forward.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, this team is set up to go and try and score goals. And actually, when a team does go for us, We usually score a goal. It's hard for us to break down a team that's defending deep and trying to keep it tight against us. So actually, go more offensive. And if they want to twist as well, sweet.
Yeah.
And I think most United fans would rather we conceded trying to score a second than conceded trying to keep it a clean sheet.
Yeah, 100%.
Because I think the chances are you probably do get a second rather than concede.
Yeah, because when you're holding on to a win or a 1-0 win, obviously the best outcome is it stays 1-0. But like we saw against West Ham, often it doesn't. At least if you're going for the second one.
Nottingham Forest,
outcome
Spurs,
is 2-0, 3-0.
West Ham, games that we had in our hand and lost. And then Everton, they go down to 10-minute 0-0 and we fucking lose.
Yeah. Just on the manager generally, it is a real sort of back and forth sway. There's a lot of people that don't think he's good enough and don't think he'll be here next season. I don't know where you are on that. But how worrying is this for him, do you think? How sort of terminal I don't want to start predicting losses, but just the form we're in now, if this form continues, how bad is this for him?
Joe, if we'd have beat Forest, we'd have gone second.
Yeah.
That's a totally different atmosphere to 8th. Totally different atmosphere. Especially if you'd have just maintained being in second. I think the Spurs game would have stuck us second as well. I think Everton would have took us 4th. Last night would have took us 5th.
Yeah.
Our ceiling is shrinking.
Yeah.
Because we're fucking all of these results up. You have to build some consistency and some momentum. Like, we have no idea how long we're going to be without our African players. And they're a big part of our fucking team.
Yeah.
Like that's 3 starters just ripped out of the team and hope everybody else stays fit. And then we already know that the backups are not fucking good enough. So this was meant to be the easy run. Now, we know the facts don't always line up with that because United are typically worse when we have the ball rather than not having the ball. So you know it was always going to be a little bit difficult when that happens. But if this kind of can't quite beat defensive teams, I mean, it looks really bad for Wolves. They're on a record-breaking set of L's at the moment.
God.
Come on down, Manchester United.
We've got to win that. We've got to win that. That is the sort of game that's like career-changing for
Have they
Amorim
lost
if you don't
7
win
on
that.
the bounce?
I don't know. I know they haven't won a game all season.
Well, yeah, on that. They've won drawn 2.
Something like that. What, they got 4 points? 2 points, yeah. So, yeah. Fucking hell. We have to win that game, don't we? Amorim has to win that game. I'm not saying he'll get sacked the day of, but I feel like for a lot of people... He could. For a lot of people...
If that's a 3-0...
It's a knife edge
totally devoid of any sort of...
Oh, yeah. If it's one of them. If we get battered, then that might be it. But even we've had all the ball, 25 chances, 12 on target. They've won 1-0 from a corner, which we could all see happening, let's be honest. That, it's nightmare stuff. Just lastly, Kobbie Mainoo and attacking subs. You mentioned Lacey and the actual attackers, or maybe the lack of, but the lot of criticism that came after the game yesterday from the press, from social media, from people in and around the ground was taking off defenders for defenders when, like you said, we want to be pushing and trying to get the second. No Kobbie Mainoo, it's Ugarte instead. I personally didn't think Ugarte did anything wrong when he was on the pitch, but he's not the type of player that pushes on to help you win 2-0. Do you think the subs is a bigger thing as people are making it out to be?
Well, yeah, because look how many leads we've lost.
Yeah.
Look how many times the subs have made us worse.
There
has been games where subs have made us better.
Yeah.
That has happened. Let's not pretend it hasn't. But there's probably been more where they've made us worse.
Okay.
And it's been that mentality thing, I think. This isn't us going for it. This isn't us taking a risk. It isn't us... Like I said, you put an academy player on, watch the mood in that ground change and watch the support that little fucker gets. I think Mainoo's... I rate Mainoo. I think he's a real good technical player. I don't think he's looked good when he's played recently. He did not look good against Everton at all. He's not looked great when he's been getting little cameos, and people will defend that and go, how's he supposed to look good? It doesn't matter. You have to take the opportunity as it comes to you. He's working hard in training. He's doing one-to-ones. He's seemingly doing all of the things that he's supposed to do. There's no negatives, no drama, no attitude, no late night, poker nights, anything like that are being talked about. The manager doesn't appreciate or like what he brings to the table. I don't necessarily think he's a natural fit because of the speed of him in a pivot. But I do think that he's a player that is a wonderful progressor of the ball and possession player. And I think the way the game has gone, if you bring Kobbie Mainoo on and you keep hold of the ball, you finish 1-0. And I think Ugarte is kind of like, oh, let's just fucking run around and tackle everything. It wasn't really the game for Ugarte. I think if you'd have brought him on, stabilised it, and just said, just pass it about. And if there's an opening, we'll try and take it. If not, whatever.
Yeah.
But they weren't carving us open. We weren't under pressure. We didn't need to bring on a defensive midfielder. We needed maybe a little bit more quality with the ball. And that's what Kobbie Mainoo brings. If nothing else. Yeah. Literally, if nothing else. He brings you quality on the ball.
100%.
And, I don't know if you can say that cost us 2 points. I think maybe finishing and decision-making in the final third, which is on the players. But ultimately, the manager lives and dies on his decisions because of what he allows us to do. And there's been multiple times this season where there's been learning. There's been evolution in the system. There's been evolution in the tactics. But it's fucking slow. And I know it's always slower than people think. You just tell them once and then they just do it. It does not work like that. It's not that simple. But I don't see him kicking off when they make bad decisions. What I perceive to be a bad decision repeatedly. Like that half-space cross to the far post where nobody is. How many fucking times do we do that, by the way?
Yeah, too often.
How many times do we shoot from stupid fucking places that are such a low XG? How many times do you see us play on one touch? Not really. Like, I don't see him encouraging that sort of stuff. And then, how about a clean sheet for Christmas?
One all season so far. Not good enough, is it?
Yeah, San Lamen's got here, kept a clean sheet, walked off, and he got in a change room and went, we don't do that here.
Yeah, well, I don't know what you think that was, but we will not be doing that again.
Yeah. These people have come to be entertained.
Yeah. How?
Not the way you think.
Yeah. Just generally then, we're 8th at the moment. Again, it's so tight. A couple of wins, you're probably touching Champions League football.
Or 14th.
Or 14th. But we keep waiting for these couple of wins. I know we had 3 in a row, and then it's, 1 win in 4 since then? 1 win in 5 potentially. We're sort of waiting for it to click, and whenever there's an opportunity to push up the league, at the moment we're not taking it.
Your boy Frank's going to next Halloween as Chewbacca.
I can't even. I don't think about him anymore. I can't. When we win 2 or 3 in a row, I'll think about him then. But he's miles off it at the minute, isn't he? How worrying and bad is Man United at the moment? Is it as bad as it looks? Is it not as bad? Is it worse?
They're a fucking chore to watch. I know that.
Yeah.
They're an absolute graft to watch.
Tough, isn't it?
I honestly would have rather watched Landman last night than United. But I do love Landman.
Landman is good, to be fair.
Have we watched it now, have we?
No. I need to catch up. I'll do that right now. Thank you very much for joining us. We'll see you in a bit.